Hello and welcome to the RPG Rundown. I'm Seth.
And I'm Jeff from Dungeons to Deep Space. We've got the systems and the stories for your table. Now, we just got back from GenCon about a week ago. What an amazing time. We finally kind of recovered, we've rested up, collected our thoughts, and we're ready to talk our way through them today.
Absolutely. And we're going to dive in because we got a lot to talk about.
Oh, absolutely.
So, first of all, though, it was my first Gen Con.
Hmm.
Okay. And we're just going to talk about our overall feelings of Gen Con, couple big highlights, and then we're going to talk about it day by day. So,
Right. Absolutely.
first of all, let's talk about how we got there, who allowed us to go to Gen Con.
Yeah.
And yeah, so why don't you start us off there? Did you drive or fly?
I drove, so it was in Indiana, and so I'm from Tennessee. Wasn't too far away, like about 6 hours. So I drove, and one of my friends came along with, and so yeah, we loaded up early on Wednesday morning and just took a casual drive there. It was not nearly as long as yours, but
Yes.
it was a nice drive.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I had to drive 11 hours
Mm.
from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Um, and it was probably a little longer than that because of construction traffic, as
Oh yeah. We hit a little bit of that too.
both before I hit Indiana and after I hit Indiana.
Hmm.
So, yeah, it was rough. It was absolutely rough. But if you haven't noticed, we're both wearing these blue shirts
We are
that
indeed.
say "All Play
Ah.
plus LTN."
Hmm.
Mine's kind of hiding behind my mic, but
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
but it's
I
here. You
intentionally
know,
pushed my mic down this time so that you could see.
I have to keep mine up because you're
Oh yeah,
you're louder than me. So,
that's very true. Understood.
so we went with Love Thy Nerd.
Hmm.
They are a faith-based organization, and they are also our partners for the podcast network,
Yeah,
who invited us to join them, and we're so thankful for them. But their whole thing is to love and serve our nerdy neighbors.
yeah,
And so
absolutely.
our friend, a good friend, Luke, aka Frostbite,
Hmm.
he invited us to come to Gen Con, and so we, uh, you know, joined them on this kind of mission trip to Gen Con to come and serve. And what they do is they partner with game publishers. This time we
Hmm.
partnered with All Play to come and demo games for them in
Right.
while they're there at Gen Con.
Hmm.
And so we got to do that, and we got to learn some fun games,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and then we both worked the morning shift
Yep.
every day from like 9 until 2.
Hmm.
Um, and we'll talk about that more in a minute. But I was demoing a game called Through the Desert. So if you were a Gen Con and you came to do Through the Desert in the morning or on Thursday night,
Thursday,
then
Thursday
you got
night.
to
Yeah.
hang out with me and let me know for sure.
Hmm.
And then what was it? What were the games that you were teaching?
So I was demoing Habitats and Psychic Pizza Delivery in Ghost Town, which was as fun and chaotic as it sounds. So yeah, if you demoed either of those games in the morning or the evening of Thursday, then you probably got to hang out with me. And it was a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed both of those games. I ended up buying Habitats for myself. So,
Yes,
um,
I also bought Through the Desert for my
mhm,
family.
nice. Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was a lot of fun. But that is, that's how we were able to go.
Hmm.
Because I don't know about you, but like it was definitely, it would have been a much more costly trip had
Oh, absolutely.
we not been able to go. So
Yeah.
huge thank you to Love Thy
Hmm.
Nerd. Also, we just love all the Love Thy Nerd people. The
Yeah.
team that we went with, we had
Got
like
to be there with an
25
amazing group.
people. We had a lot of awesome stories about things going on.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, let's see. Also, if you were there, we gave out about, I don't know, 60 to 80.
I would say
of
so.
our sets of stickers.
Hmm.
Which,
Do you have any? I was gonna say I have some.
yes. Why don't you? Mine are just out of reach.
I do not have autofocus though, so
Well, okay, I'll get it then.
all right.
Just make sure I don't run
Yes,
over a dog.
can you see that one? I don't know. That one's us. Yeah, yours is probably gonna be better because you can actually focus.
Okay, all right, here we go.
All right, there's the set. As he's getting ready for you to see. We
Yeah,
had
here we
these
go.
pretty much anyone we met showed interest in TTRPGs. We gave them a set of stickers.
We did. We gave him one of each.
Yes.
Okay, so we did have this one, which is pretty awesome, if I
That
do
one's
say
pretty
so
awesome.
myself, because it has our faces on it.
Yeah, those are our faces.
So, trying to make sure you can
Okay.
see it. There we go.
And if you're
Focusing on
listening
that.
to the podcast, we're showing really amazing stickers, and you should
Yeah,
check
we
out the
are.
YouTube video.
The ones on their faces have the RPG Rundown logo. It's pretty cool.
Mhm.
But then we have one that is a beholder,
Yep.
and it says, "I love the RPG Rundown," but it's EYE, ha ha ha.
Yeah. You see, beholders
You
have
know,
eyes.
You know.
And
But
there's a
no,
QR code that actually takes you directly to the YouTube channel.
there is a
on
QR
the
code, which
stickers.
is great. And then we have another one that was also very popular.
This was the fan favorite.
This was the fan favorite.
It's a gelatinous cube.
Yeah, it says dive into the RPG Rundown. And it's a
Yep.
gelatinous cube, but it has a pool ladder
Mm-hmm.
and like an inflatable flamingo
Flamingo
on it,
top
like
of it.
like
Yeah.
a pool floaty.
Yeah, it's great.
Seriously, like the best of all of those designs that we got. We are definitely going to reprint those
Mhm.
in bigger stickers, and
Yes.
we will have ways to get them to
Oh,
you
yeah.
all. So
We will have
for
ways
sure.
to get them. That's for sure.
We haven't quite decided all the ways, but we're
Right.
gonna
No,
have
not at
ways.
all. We don't think that far ahead.
No.
But we had them at Gen Con, and we gave out a whole lot of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, you did get the opportunity to give them to one of our favorite YouTubers.
I did indeed. So I was working my shift. I can't even remember what day it was. You do a lot better remembering the days of the week that things happened. It all just jumbles together into one big conference for me. But one of the days of the
I
week,
think it was Saturday.
I think it was Saturday too. I think Saturday sounds right. But yeah, I took a break. I was in between demos, and so I ran out of the room for a minute, and like just chilling over here by himself is like the dungeon coach, and we've test played DC-20. Huge fan of everything Coach puts out.
Yeah,
Like
huge
just one of
fan.
the most like even before the whole OGL and all the different games that were coming out, I used to watch a ton of Coach's videos just for different ideas on how to DM and things to incorporate in the game. And so yeah, I was able to meet him, give him some stickers, showed him the channel. He did subscribe to the channel. So Coach, if you see this, thank you for all you do.
Coach, we love you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And so
We
yeah,
are
got
very
to meet him.
excited.
I will say he was a lot taller than I expected. Or maybe I'm just a lot shorter than I think I am. But in my town, I'm very average. But whenever I leave, I feel very short. So,
Yeah. On a height note, Jeff and I met for the first time,
yeah.
and honestly, I was surprised how close in height we actually are. Because
We are very close in height.
I
We are.
thought, like I just feel like you're gonna be taller than me because it happens a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, but again, we're both just average. Okay. We're
we're-
under 6 foot, but not by
But
a
it
lot.
should be noted, the artist that did this did make you a little bit taller than me, and so on the next prints, I'm fixing it.
Oh no, I'm
Right?
not taller. It's just my hair. It's just my hair. Actually, you know what? My wife was like, "Your forehead is way too big."
Oh, really?
So, I mean, I know I have. A
Oh,
big
I have a
forehead,
hat on, so like
Yeah.
I usually have a hat, so it worked.
But no, Dungeon Coach is fantastic. I know we both backed the Kickstarter.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In fact, I increased my pledge because of the fact that he added Alchemy RPG support because I'm a massive fan of Alchemy RPG.
You are indeed.
And so I was like, well, I got to get that, and I might as well just do this. And then, oh my gosh, I've doubled my pledge.
got him with the upsell. All right, nice.
But no, I mean, I'm pumped for that. So
Oh, absolutely. I'm super excited for DC-20. Like well, really, we need to do another test play at some point soon because a lot has
Yeah.
changed since our niche. Like we did our demo of it when it first launched,
Yeah, no, I
and so
agree.
like there's been a lot of changes since then.
Yeah, I think we'll have to do that for sure. Well, maybe even give it a critical look, which
Critical
we'll
look.
talk about in a
We'll talk
little
about it in
bit.
just a moment. If you missed the last review,
Yeah.
that is important.
So it's going to be a new thing. So we're going
It's
to
a
talk
new
about
thing.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we did that, and then
Hmm.
also too, um, we we both went with the express purpose of also getting to see the Stormlight RPG, which we
Hmm.
just did
We did.
a big episode on. So
Hmm.
definitely go take a look at that. But
Yep.
we'll recap it a little bit here. So we both went. We were excited about Stormlight RPG. I'd already gotten Jeff to start reading the books.
Hmm. Hmm.
I've already read and listened to them twice, and after Gen Con, I started them again.
And if you haven't read the books, honestly, if you've ever watched this before, we've probably talked about it at some
We
point.
probably have.
If you haven't read them, I will say this: as a uh, avid Audible user, it is one of the best uses of Audible credits because the book will last you forever, right? Like they're very long books and they're very very good.
Yeah,
But if you like reading
they
physical
really
books,
are.
it's great. You'll spend a lot of time in it too.
Um, so yeah, anyway, we're pumped about that.
Hmm.
Also too, they were pushing hard for the Kickstarter that
Hmm.
went live on the
Tuesday.
Tuesday of this week,
Hmm.
which was what, the 6th? What are we on?
Sure,
9,
that's a date.
7, 6, 5th. Today's Friday,
Hmm.
which is
It
the
is.
9th. The 8th
And
was
today's night.
Thursday. 7th. So the 6th. The 6th. Man,
Yeah.
I should have just looked at the card. I have this card
Are
right
you
here.
sure we're rested up?
I'm not quite 100% yet. So
All right. So
anyway,
yes, the Kickstarter went live on
yeah,
Tuesday
Kickstarter went
the
live.
6th.
Um, holy cow! I mean, it's like 6.5 million right now, and it's only been
Is it really?
two and a half. It's
Goodness.
only been 3 days.
That's a little bit of money.
22,000 backers.
Wow.
But we are going to talk. We'll recap that more.
Yes. And our
But
experience there with that.
huge shout out and congrats to
Mhm.
Brotherwise Games and Dragon Steel, Brandon Sanderson, the whole group, for launching an amazingly successful Kickstarter. Never really had any
Absolutely.
doubt, honestly, but
No, I mean it was gonna do great.
anyway. But you know what? Let's get into the main discussion and let's just kind of like walk
Let's do
through
it.
day by day.
Mm-hmm.
A little recap, little Gen Con recap. So,
Sure. Let's do it.
we both got there Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we drove in. We got to you got to actually sneak in and see where all the Stormlight RPG playtest was going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You were talking to some of your BattleTech buddies, and
I was.
I was just walking around, and I'm like, hey, here's the Stormlight booth, and the doors were closed, but I thought maybe that someone's in there, I could
Yeah,
peek
it
in,
wasn't
and
the booth. We couldn't get into the exhibitor hall, but
yeah,
it
yeah,
was
not
definitely
the exhibit hall, but the
yeah.
the room they
So
had where they
you
were
got
doing the demos and stuff.
some early
Yeah.
pictures of some Radiance, which was pretty cool.
Hmm. I did. I got to sneak in there, look at things, take a picture with a giant stand-up cardboard
Yeah.
thing of Kaladin. It was great. It was awesome.
Otherwise, Wednesday was uneventful, other
Yeah,
than
pretty
getting to hang
uneventful.
out with
Not much happened.
our LTN peeps.
Hmm. Which was awesome.
Thursday, like I said, we worked in the morning, and then
We
we
did.
had
Thursday was a busy day.
it was
We
a
worked
busy day
morning
for us.
and evening. Hmm.
So we had basically a block of time from 2 until 7.
Hmm.
And so
Which
at
sounds like a lot more
2,
time than it felt.
it didn't feel
Because
like
I
a lot
felt
of
like it
time.
went by really quick.
We did go onto the exhibitor floor just briefly.
Hmm.
I had to go by the Catalyst Game Labs booth for BattleTech. On top of BattleTech, though, on top of that, we got to see Shadowrun RPG stuff, which is
Yep.
something we will play at some point.
Hmm. It's on the list.
And then we didn't demo it, but I talked to some people an author friend and another guy, and they were looking at the Voltron RPG, which is coming out. Not sure how that's going to work, but that's going to be interesting. Because it seems like a very linear story, but
Okay.
I'm excited to see how
I'm not
they do
familiar
it.
with it at all, so.
Voltron?
Yeah.
You know, like pre-Power Rangers. 5 colorful cat mechas combine into Voltron, which is one big mecha. Dude, it's cartoon. Like, there's a new cartoon for it, and it's awesome.
All right, I'll look it up.
What is the cartoon? I think it's on Netflix. I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix. Watch the new cartoon. It's incredible.
Okay.
But there was an old cartoon.
I'm looking at it now. The cover looks familiar, like the big mech with the sword and stuff.
The mech.
But I don't really remember watching it.
I mean, I didn't watch it much as a kid, and you're younger than me, so I'm sure didn't watch it. But the new one, you should 100% watch it.
Really? Okay.
There's like 2 or 3 seasons. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I would put it right up there as like, I mean, like, it's not as good as Avatar: The Last Airbender, but it's really close.
Okay.
But it's sci-fi, kind of thing.
Right.
So.
Fair enough.
Like I said, the story is kind of linear, so it'll be interesting to see how they do an RPG in that universe. But yeah, I'm excited to see that. So yeah, but then too on Thursday, we did go see the Stormlight room with people in it.
And there were people there, and we were allowed to be there at that time.
We were allowed to be there at that time.
I'm not certain I was not allowed to be there before. There was nothing posted.
No one said we couldn't be there the day before.
Right.
And again, we're not going to go into too much depth because we talked about it in a hour and a half podcast.
We did a full episode
last week. Go check that out. Watch the YouTube video. We show off a bunch of pictures and stuff. But briefly, I'm going to just show off the product again. We got the Chasm Fiend magazine. It is super awesome. On the back, there's like, it does actually. Stormlight role-playing game, which obviously that was a bit of a shock on the 6th, but we'll talk about that. Yeah, a little misleading. They were like, fooled you, but
they really did.
Absolutely fantastic magazine. Well worth it. It's got some amazing articles and art and production stuff from the team. Very cool. They also pass out these really cool cards that, were, again, advertising the launch of the Kickstarter. I bought the beta Stormlight dice, which, again, the fact that it says Stormlight role-playing game on this dice set, I feel like that's got to be like, instantly up in value since that is no longer the name of it.
Okay, so that is my question. I guess we can jump into. Well, I mean, we're going to kind of talk about it later. But the game launches, and it's not called Stormlight Role Playing Game.
Yeah, the Kickstarter launched, and it's actually the Cosmere RPG
role playing game. And so I do wonder though, because they're going to cover, Stormlight, and they're going to cover Mistborn. So I wonder if the Stormlight side is still Stormlight Role Playing Game, and then there's going to be Mistborn.
So here's the thing: they're not just covering those two. It's going to cover Elantris, which is another world. So there's three worlds that it's going to cover.
Okay. I'm only familiar with the one.
Roshar is Stormlight.
Yeah.
Scadrial is Mistborn.
Okay.
And then I think Elantris is just called Elantris. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I haven't read any of those.
So that is all within the Cosmere, just different worlds in the
there's
Cosmere.
also the World Hoppers, which is Hoyd.
I have not gotten to that person yet.
Minor spoiler. Okay. Oh my gosh, what's his name?
Wit.
I mean,
Wit was my guess.
Yeah. Wit. Wit is Hoyd. Okay.
Oh, okay.
He's He's a world hopper. Now, I don't know anything else other than that, except for what is somewhat revealed in later books of Stormlight, but it's not much. It's not
Okay.
much.
Yeah, I'm in anyone that's familiar with the series. I'm in Dawn Shard right now, and so like I finished this one, and then I have one longer one, and then
Mm-hmm.
I'm done until the new one releases in December, I think.
And Dawn Shard is I really liked Dawn Shard
So far, it's
because
really good. Like it's
because
not
it
like the
actually
other
gives
novellas.
because
Yeah.
it has the other Windrunner in
Hmm.
it, and it has it is kind of a beginning explanation for like you know the beginning of everything within the
Okay.
Cosmere,
Fair.
which is pretty cool.
Nice.
So
All right.
anyway,
All right. It's quickly turning into a Stormlight
no,
podcast
we're
again.
moving on. Well, okay, well I just have to also show on this one
Fair.
the miniatures. I
They are
picked
they are very
there
nice.
was a box set for each. I picked up the Way of Kings
Hmm.
box set. It has all the fun people in it, which is really cool.
Hmm.
Um, anyway, like I said, go check out the other episode. But that was
Yeah. It
that
was
was Thursday.
it was Thursday, right?
For the limited time we had, it was very eventful.
Yes, it was. We got to do a lot of stuff, run around. Thursday for me, I spent no money because Thursday I was still getting through the shock of prices. You come in and like my mentality is always like, oh, I'm gonna buy some stuff, and then I'm going like, ooh, not for that price. But then by Friday, I'm like, that's just how much stuff costs, and you start
And
spending money.
and you're even kind of like, that's actually a good price. Like
Yeah, yeah.
you're
Because
like,
after you've walked around a little while, you're like, you know what? Never mind. 60
yeah.
bucks is a good price for a set of dice around here.
Or you look
Like,
it up online and you're like, oh, these are worth that, kind of thing.
these are worth that. That's true.
Um,
Yeah.
no, yeah. So, but Friday was a different story. Why don't you
Hmm.
start us off with that?
Yeah, so Friday we had our shift from 9 to 2, and then at that point we got pretty much had the rest of the day to run around. I say rest of the day. I actually did have something planned. I had pre-planned a couple events for me. I wanted to play a few tabletop roleplay games, and so that day I had a 6-hour Pathfinder one shot scheduled out. It was, and I did that on purpose. Like I intentionally scheduled a long one shot because I wanted to really sit down and just play some, D&D, but Pathfinder version. I will
The
say,
Pathfinder version.
all the yeah Pathfinder version of D&D. I will say, I didn't know Pathfinder One was exactly like D&D. I didn't know this going in, and it is. I don't. I maybe someone could tell me some differences. I didn't notice any. Um, and like maybe they called the skills something different, but
No,
other than that, it was exactly the
that's
same.
why
There's no action
Pathfinder.
points or anything. It was
That's why,
action, bonus
yeah.
action, like it. Yeah.
That's literally
Anyway.
why Pathfinder happened, because it was like they created, D&D 3.5,
Hmm.
and then they were
Right.
like, we're gonna go to D&D 4, and everyone was like, ooh, 4 is not great. Let's stick with D&D 3.5. Let's just call it
That makes
Pathfinder.
sense. Yeah, and so like I was
So,
thinking, I could not get. There was not like a long Pathfinder 2 one shot because I wanted to play Pathfinder 2, but there wasn't a long. There all they had was like 1 hour like learn sessions, and I didn't. I wanted to sit down. I wanted to create a character, or be a character, and just RP and stuff for a while, and I got to, and honestly, we had a great time. Our GM did a great job. I had a cool group around me.
awesome.
Um, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I played a cleric, and we
Shocker.
yeah, shocker, right? And we ended. I will say this after playing it, I think we might have been the bad guys. I think that's how it ended. Like I really think we might have been the bad guys.
Eh,
Um,
that's
but
funny.
it is what it is. We had fun doing it.
Awesome. Well,
What about
so
you? How was your
I
Friday?
didn't get to play anything.
Hmm.
I mean, we did some open gaming later while you were
I did
playing
that too.
Pathfinder. But let's see. But I did go by the Free League Publishing booth and demo room
Hmm.
because it was right down the hall from the All Play. And so I was, drooling over all of their TTRPG books and products and stuff like that. If you followed us at all, you know that we're massive fans of Dragonbane, and so I was really eyeing picking up the bestiary while I was there.
Ooh, that'd been nice.
I held off though on Tuesday, or on not Tuesday, excuse me, on Friday. I was like, I'm not gonna spend any money today, and I'll go back and I'll get things at the end once I know exactly what I want and what the priority is gonna be. So, but yeah, like Dragonbane and all the Tales from the Loop expansions, because there's like 4 or 5 of them now, and then also Forbidden Lands, which is another awesome open world RPG, like fantasy RPG from them. But they've also got Coriolis, and they've got Twilight 2000 and Mutant Year Zero, which is their post-apocalyptic. They have so many, and they're so good, and I really like them as a publisher. And so I went in there, just talking with them a little bit and just checking them out. So I loved seeing that. Loved seeing them there. And then I also went to go see Hit Point Press in the exhibitor hall, and they had a big statue of the little owl that's on the front of the Humblewood book.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
so
awesome.
that was really cool. And then I also got to
I did not go
flip
by
through.
there a single time.
Yeah,
Man,
and then I got to
missed
flip
out.
through, which, I mean, I have the campaign setting for Humblewood here.
Nice, yeah.
So, but yeah, so I mean, I didn't flip through this because I already have it, but I flipped through the Humblewood Tales book and some of their other stuff. Looked at all of their different things. I like Hit Point Press. I think they put out some awesome stuff, and also have some of their resources on Alchemy RPG. And so yeah, so just check them out. So that was kind of those are the 2 big publishers for RPGs that I went to see on Friday.
Right.
So
nice.
Yeah.
All right. Saturday was probably my most eventful day, I think.
Yes.
So
And
Saturday,
as you know,
yeah, as you know, most of our conversations, yeah. So Saturday, we worked our shift 9 to 2, right?
Yeah. First off, what was your original scheduled game that you were going to do?
I originally had a game scheduled at, it was like 8:00. It was a late, but I had scheduled a one shot of Vermin 2047, which, by the way, I still really want to play. I had planned to go play Vermin 2047. I actually paid for it. And it is a post-apocalyptic type game, which we've talked about it in previous episodes. I really like apocalyptic stuff, and I've yet to play a TTRPG in that kind of setting. And so, yeah, I had planned that out. I had scheduled that, but my plan got thwarted with what happened the rest of the day. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with how the day went.
Yeah.
But before we go too far in there,
sure.
One of the goals of the day was to go and test play, for me anyway, the BattleTech Alpha Strike.
Yay.
And if you've been around the podcast at all, you know Seth is a huge BattleTech. If you're following Seth's other podcasts, you know that he's
That's true.
a huge BattleTech fan.
I have another podcast for BattleTech, and I mean the game, the board, like the miniature tabletop game for BattleTech, is celebrating 40 years this year. Obviously, I know it's not as old as D&D. They're celebrating their 50th, but humble brag, BattleTech is older than 40K. So.
Oh yeah, there you go.
We win. No,
yeah. I will say, we got a new local game shop, and I went in there and I bought Lorcana deck and some stuff, but they don't have any BattleTech stuff. I was kind of disappointed.
That's okay. Yeah,
that's all right. Yeah.
We'll get you set up.
I know. I was hoping they'd have some like game nights to play, because I will say I did play test BattleTech. We did like a 1 hour, quick start. Seth and I went against each other, and there's some dude teaching best he could. It was very loud. And but no, I did really enjoy it. It is,
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah, probably what like RTS games are based on, but it's like RTS but on a board.
We made some friends. That was fun.
We did make friends. We had we got to hang out with them for a bit. It was really cool.
Yeah, and then and you did buy like you said, you bought the beginner box.
I did buy the beginner
or the
box. I have the
essentials
essentials
box,
box.
actually.
Yes.
But then
Yeah.
besides that,
Hmm.
we actually spent a lot of time. We went and bought generic tickets, and
Yep.
because we couldn't get we got our badges late,
Yep.
because we went with All Play, and so
Hmm.
then we couldn't get signed up. Like the Stormlight RPG demos were
Yep.
completely sold out by the time we got our
Like
badges.
obviously we wanted into that, and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we actually after our shift just started to make this plan of like we
Mm-hmm.
pulled up the schedule. We're like they're doing play tests at this time, and this time. If we're there and someone doesn't show up, surely we can maybe get
Surely we
in.
can get in. So
Yeah.
yeah, we got generic tickets so that we could do that, and we went and stood in line for 30 minutes.
Hmm.
Barely missed the cutoff at the 4 o'clock,
Yeah.
but
Literally, we were number 4 and 5, and they took up to 3.
yep.
So it was right to us.
So then we went and played BattleTech, and then we
When play BattleTech.
came back, and that was when we did it, and then we came
Hmm.
back an hour, and we're an hour early instead of 30 minutes early.
Yeah, because
And
we're like we're doing it.
Ross at Brotherwise Games, he's a writer and developer. He was like, he was like, I'll remember you, and he was like, you guys are first,
Yeah.
and so he was super gracious. Again, we thank him and all of Brotherwise and the other podcast, but
Oh,
again,
absolutely. Yeah.
thank you, Ross. He got us in the game. He was DMing for us.
Mhm.
He did a phenomenal job.
Oh, he did a great job DMing. Absolutely.
We loved every moment of it. We made some more new friends. Shout out to David and Jacqueline, who were phenomenal party members. So was the other guy, but I can't remember his name. He left immediately.
Yeah.
He was having fun though, I could tell. But
Yeah,
but
he was.
he just cut out early.
Yeah, a lot of people really book themselves at Gen Con. Like they have
Mhm.
event after event after event. And
And it's a
everyone that was
walk.
there were actual scheduled ticket holders. So
Yeah,
they had planned out their whole day. So they probably had somewhere to go.
except
We
for
did
us.
not. Yeah, we did not. No, we were just there to hang out and enjoy
Yeah.
everything.
So, but yeah, Ross was great. Johnny,
Hmm.
who's also, he's actually, shoot, he's
the
like
lead
one of
lead writers,
he's like
or-
the lead designer, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said.
But he had earlier showed us, he'd walked us through the book concept they had, and then we also got to meet Revade, who was who's a writer, and so he sat down to, take notes while we were playing, which was really cool. Then we talked to him afterwards, got a picture with him and Ross, and got let in on the the fun I love Moash inside joke.
The inside joke.
I mean, I just consider us a part of it. So
Yeah, I mean, we're part of it now.
yeah.
And now
so,
I guess you are too. Everyone
and
listening.
now you are too. Although you don't know why, but you know.
That's true.
So yeah. So Jeff obviously skipped his
I
paid
did skip my one
shot
shot.
to play Stormlight, but I think it was well worth it. So
It was definitely worth it. Yeah.
okay, well, you know what? Again, go check out the previous episode because it's all about Stormlight, aka now the Cosmic RPG.
The Cosmic RPG. And we do a full review following our new critical system. That we'll kind of talk a little bit more at the end of the podcast.
Yeah. Okay, so the last day was Sunday. Again, we worked the morning, which unfortunately, we still had a lot of time after our shift. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I feel like we kind of missed out on making some connections with people because there was a lot of things that happened in the morning.
Sure.
Like there was some things, like there was like an author panel that I would have liked to go to, but it was in the morning. There were some other RPG panels. So, I think next time maybe we might try to be like, hey, let's do some morning and evening, but maybe
we could alter.
And
I
again,
will
it was
say,
my first
Luke
time.
had asked
so
me, and I was like, no, I'll just do all morning. I was like, I just want to get it over with and then have the rest of my day to do what I wanted.
And he definitely added me to that for the same reason, and because you said that, so which was totally fine. It was totally fine. I just
last time I did the evening shift, and it was it wasn't bad. Like you could go and walk around, but of course, last year I didn't think to schedule anything or anything like that. And so like I got to walk around and kill time, but then I had to like work, and then by that time, everything I wanted to do was kind of over.
Yeah.
And so I don't know which way is better. Maybe just alternating or plan, maybe scheduling out a little bit
Yeah.
further in advance.
Well,
Which I'm
and I
not
don't
much of a scheduler. I just mainly
right.
kind of go with the flow. But I
And
gotta try
I
to
don't know
work
if
on
I'll
that.
be able to go to Gen Con next year. This was a pretty special year because
Right.
my wedding anniversary always falls
Sure.
on Gen Con. Um, but, there's
Great
other
anniversary trip, man. She'll love it.
Yeah, I don't think Indianapolis is exactly the destination for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But there are other cons, and
Hmm.
so maybe I can hit some of those up. So, but anyway, Sunday we just kind of were all over the place on the exhibitor hall. We were checking out a bunch of different things we wanted to see before the end of the day and the end of the con.
Hmm.
Sorry, I didn't mute that for you, Jeff, but it was muted for the recording.
Oh, great. Yeah, I was just say I heard all of it. So
I know, not for you. Sorry,
okay, no
they're two
worries.
different buttons. I just hit one. I had to clear my throat a little bit.
No, for
Um,
yeah, I was gonna say for Sunday, all I know is I spent too much money.
yeah, that was your
I
spending money day.
Yeah, that was my spending money day, and I made this mistake of immediately before going to Gen Con of getting back into Magic the Gathering. And so
Yeah.
naturally, I had to get new sleeves. I had to get a couple Lorcana decks. I had to get a new playmat, which I wish I'd have brought. It has kittens on it. It's adorable. And I got a deck box. All the stuff, all the stuff.
Um, yeah. So like again, I was actually really good. I didn't spend money on Friday or Saturday,
Hmm.
but Sunday I did pick up a con exclusive for a miniatures game that I'm going to get called Warcrow. However,
Hmm. Now this one sounded interesting to me
yeah. So
because you were explaining it to me.
how it's fantasy based. It's a cool new world. However,
And I am more of a
we're
fantasy guy than a sci-fi
yeah,
guy, so that sounded interesting.
but we're bringing it up here because they had a Kickstarter for an adventure box, which was like an RPG, kind of an RPG light box for Warcrow.
Hmm.
I missed the Kickstarter. I didn't get it, but they are going to release it to retail later this year. And so I picked up a con exclusive, which is a really cool, like
Oh, give me.
bear mini.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's cool.
he's part of the Northern Tribe, which is one of the factions, and it just looks fantastic. So, I mean, it would be cool on a mini table for an RPG as well. So,
Hmm. Oh, absolutely. That'll definitely
um,
could do double.
yeah,
Actually, let me see it
100%.
again.
Yeah, so it's
Huh. Okay. Fairly similar. I have a homebrew race in my world called the Frost Wardens. He's
nice.
not exactly, but he's close. He could definitely stand in for a Frost Warden.
Yeah, so but I got that because it was con exclusive, and then and like I said, our War Crow Adventures, which like I said is an RPG kind of game.
Hmm.
Um, definitely want to get that. But then yeah, other than that, we did get to chat with one of our LTN peeps, Silver, also known or Tyranny, also known
Hmm.
as Silver,
Tyranny. Yeah.
and she was able to get the 2024 D&D
Hmm.
book
Yeah.
because we were working the morning shift.
Yeah. Yeah.
We did not
There's
have
no
the
getting it.
option to go stand in line because it was massive.
Yeah. So I will say I do remember hearing that you could like get on your phone first thing in the morning and reserve it. But from my understanding, they were going within minutes.
Yeah.
Like it was in and out quick.
And I also
Huh.
had decided that I was going to wait and I may pick it up
Sure.
on D&D Beyond at some point digitally, but I
Hmm.
have all the original books, and so I'm not in a hurry to get the new physical books. You know,
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
I
Yeah.
can wait for a sale at this point. Maybe get them digitally,
Right.
and I'll be okay. I mean, I'm still playing 5e, whether that's you know, D&D 5e or Tales of the Valiant 5e, because I also really like Tales of the Valiant.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, like we'll mention them briefly here in a second, but yeah, they you know, it was going to be too hard for us to do that, work in the morning shift. But Tierney is going
Right.
to send us a whole bunch of notes and stuff on it, and so and then we may try to look at it
Yeah.
digitally as well, and then do you know, kind of an updated review on
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Look over
2024
it,
rules.
see what changes
We'll give it
have been made, and
a
give you our thoughts on
critical
them.
look, if
A
you will.
critical look.
So,
Absolutely.
also on Sunday, I had one of the other LTN people who was there recommended us to go check out Copycat Games, which is a Brazilian publisher.
Yeah.
And they were super nice, first of all. Super nice team there for Copycat Games, and they have a couple of RPGs that are coming out. I think they're already out, maybe in like their native language, which I'm not even gonna try. It's Portuguese or not Portuguese. It's like Spanish. I don't know. I don't want to mess it up. Look it up on the internet. I'm pretty sure it's Spanish, but then I feel like, I don't know why, like I said, Portuguese. Forgive me, okay? Please forgive me.
TheWorldAtlas.com says Portuguese.
Yes, I was right. Okay.
Yeah. It's the official language.
They're very close, but I know they're not the same. Anyway, but I did. So I went. I was like, oh, I want to pick up this campaign setting.
Mm-hmm.
It is a. I think it's a 5e.
I was thinking
setting?
it was 5e. Yeah.
Now I can't remember. But yeah, this really cool kind of like mixed sci-fi fantasy campaign setting called Skyfall. Super excited to check it out. And whenever I told them that, or what they actually saw my Love Thy Nerd lanyard, and we're like, "Oh my gosh, you're with Love Thy Nerd." And and we gave them the stickers, and they were like, "You're the review guys," and so they like were very
We're
generous.
the review guys,
and would not let me pay for this. So thank you very much, Copycat Games. Y'all are awesome. Besides this, they had two others. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I remember what I was doing because you went over there with before I could get there, because I was on Sunday. I was running around trying to find something for my wife, and actually found her. There was a tea shop there called was it? I don't know, but it was like Drink Your Fandom was the whole idea, and so they had a bunch of different teas based on fandoms, and so I actually got her one based on Supernatural and Stardew Valley, which she absolutely loved. And then I got her a candle. It was a D&D based candle,
Nice.
and it was like a woodwick candle. It was cool. It's definitely worth it. But yeah, I was running around trying to find something for her because the pen I wanted to get her was sold out by the time I got there.
There was so much stuff there.
There was so much stuff. Yeah, it's so much fun.
So besides Skyfall, okay, they have another one coming out called Core Spring. It looks like it's a sci-fi. Don't know much about it yet, but it's very bright and colorful.
It is. So yes, I've seen that too.
We'll at least give that a look at some point. And then on top of that, they have Ashes of Tomorrow roleplay game coming out, which is post-apocalyptic.
Apocalyptic.
Look at that.
They've got me.
Let's see. And this is not 5e. I'm pretty sure. it's different.
I think I do remember them saying it's based on the Apocalypse system.
Yeah. Was it? Yeah. Maybe it was.
Thought so.
Let's see. Let's see if it says.
Yeah.
Engine.
Because that's a system. Yes. I tried to get into a playtest of that system. It is the PSTA.
Do a review
on it. Couldn't make it.
What is it? PSTA? No, Powered by the Apocalypse.
Yeah, Powered by
PBTA.
the Apocalypse. Yeah. Yeah, because I tried to get into like a demo as I was figuring out what I wanted to demo. I was trying to get into a Powered by the Apocalypse demo, and I end up. It seems like there was one I wanted in, and for some reason I didn't choose it. I don't know why. Anyway,
I mean,
if you sign up
it
for events at
sounds
Gen Con, you'll
awesome.
see there's
It
so
says
many.
it says a narrative survival game against time on a planet Earth scorched by a cataclysm, taken over by a mysterious crystal, and learning to deal with magic. I mean, that sounds awesome.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Anyway, but they were super nice.
They were really cool.
We
Liked
sat
them a
and
lot.
talked with them for just a little bit, and yeah, awesome people.
Absolutely.
So if you're listening, once again, thank you so
Yeah.
much for that. Really loved what we saw and look forward to looking at that later. So yeah, that was Sunday.
It was Sunday.
But lastly, okay. First of all, too, there were so many booths with other RPGs that I passed by, glanced at, didn't have time to really digest. There were so many.
Yeah,
like
it's absolutely drinking from a fire hose. Like, I mean, there's so much there.
100%.
So much you want to learn about, so much you want to see. Like, you don't have time to understand everything there.
I did go by the Tales of the Valiant booth, or the Cabal Press booth, because I have the I backed the Kickstarter, and I have the Monster Vault and Player's Guide, and GM Screen. And then two, on top of that, our friends over at Pocket Dimension, they actually got to go and play, and I actually just today heard them talking about how much they loved this playtest so much better than they did at the last Gen Con.
Have we did a playtest of Tales of the Valiant? Did we do that one?
Yes, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we did playtest the little intro adventure. It was like Tales of the Spore Lord.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we did that one.
So,
all right.
It's a longer adventure. I'd love to do more of it. And like I said,
yes, I remember that one being a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great. And I have the resources in Alchemy RPG,
like
so
the mechanics,
as well as the GM book that's coming later. Back to that too.
All right.
But yeah, so yeah, I'm pumped to do more of that. But the last thing that we did on Sunday was actually part of Love Thy Nerd. We were serving all play all week. We had another group, the op, that some of our people were serving. But then for the close of Gen Con, we went and we served Gatekeeper games and dice. Awesome people.
Which this is one of the things I want to say too. Like, we're there with Love Thy Nerd. We're there on mission. We're Christians, followers of Jesus.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean like we're out there on the street corner, like, turn or burn, or like handing out tracts or asking people where they're going to go when they die. Like, that's weird. Like, even as a Christian, I hate when people ask me questions like that.
Yeah, we're there to love our nerdy neighbors. We're there to just be there for them. So we went and we were there for Gatekeeper Games, and we helped them tear down their booths because they had two, and we had to catalog and inventory and box up and rebox up and rebox up again all of their dice.
Oh yeah. So Luke had noticed, I guess, in previous years they were like always the last ones out, and so that's why he's like, "Hey, can we help you guys?"
Yeah. But they were fantastic. They were super nice, and for helping them, they were very generous and gave us, like a free set of dice.
Free set of dice.
Which is pretty awesome.
Ooh, those are
I got
nice.
these. They're blue and orange, which, if you don't know, are my favorite colors.
And the Florida Gators colors. So
that's not important at all. My White Fox logo is blue and orange. But they're called Fire and Dice, which is fantastic. Cool. I love that. So
I will say, I found a set that had like dinosaur eggs in it, and so I got them for my son. I gave him. He did not have his own set of dice yet, so
that's cool.
I gave them to him. He was really excited.
I don't. So because it was just like a madhouse trying to pack them up.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally, John, the owner,
John was
yeah,
the lead guy.
John.
Yeah.
Occasionally there would be something that was like misplaced or out or whatever, and a couple times we were like, what do we need to do with this? What what we're trying to do whatever we can to help him, and sometimes he'd be like, you know what, that doesn't have a place, it's yours.
Oh, nice.
And when
Yeah.
you're the owner of the company, you can do that.
You can do that. Yeah.
So I actually found a mystery bag of dice,
Oh,
and it was
nice.
already open.
Oh,
But because I
yeah.
found it was under the table. It was like, hey, there's a mystery bag under here, but it's already open. What do I need to do
Yeah.
with it? Like, do you need to like put it in stock or something? And he was like, cheers, right place, right time.
Nice.
So, but here's the funny thing is, and I feel like this would be a cool set for a very specific class, mostly a bard, because
Okay.
it is golden music notes inside of it.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm trying to find
Definitely
the
a
D20
bard
here.
dice.
Yeah. So it's kind of hard to see because they're kind of packed in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like clear with golden music notes.
Oh,
Very
that's
cool. Very cool. So, but no, Gatekeeper Games and Dice, awesome company. Definitely want to support them. I was super tempted to buy the GM dice.
Oh, the GM dice were great.
If
That
you've
was like
seen
the
the GM
one
dice,
temptation
they are
that
the ones
I
that have the
had.
GM dice. I mean,
Yeah.
unless other people have them. Those are the only place I saw them.
Yeah. So I make dice, and so like I have dice all around me all the time. So I was not very tempted by the dice like I was the first time I went to Gen Con,
Yeah,
but those GM dice, those about got me. And so if you guys aren't
they're
familiar, like they're roll for weather, right?
roll for
And it
random
has different weather on them.
encounters or whatever.
Yeah, roll
So
for different encounters, and it's all just on the dice. So you just grab the dice, roll it, and
yeah.
that's what's happening in your game. It's really cool.
So, anyway, those were our
Mm-hmm.
4
That was
days of
Sunday.
Gen Con.
So
So
Sunday I went home, and I think you went home
yes,
on Monday.
yes,
Okay.
you drove home Sunday night.
Sunday evening.
I
Yeah.
went back to the Airbnb and then got up early and took. It was really quiet in the house because it was me, Luke, and Kyle, and that was it. And so I got up.
Yeah, that was very quiet.
I took Kyle to the airport,
Mm-hmm.
and then I left and I drove for 11
Nice.
hours and I restarted
Yeah,
Stormlight.
restart Stormlight. Absolutely.
So it was
And
great.
then you got home, and we recorded a podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was so tired.
Yeah.
But post Gen Con, I feel like we have a little bit to
Post-Gen.
report post Gen Con because
Very true.
obviously the next day on August 6th, the Stormlight RPG was renamed the Cosmere RPG and launched on Kickstarter. And it was a big shock to all of us because we all
Yeah,
we have all these things that say Stormlight RPG on like pencils and
where's my pencil at?
cards and magazines.
Yeah.
And boxes of minis and dice. So yeah, you guys totally fooled us, brotherwise.
Yeah, they got us. That's pretty good. It was good, but it really is. It's interesting. Like I'm not in the Mistborn universe or anything yet, but it's exciting that that's opening up as well.
Yeah, and though it's a little daunting, because it's basically like it's a full system, right? So I could see this working in Mistborn as well. I was actually chatting in Discord with Matt from Pocket Dimension today. He and Seth the GM were like, "Are you? How does you think this is going to work with Mistborn?" And I think it'll absolutely work very well with Mistborn. But I also have no idea how they're going to do it, other than the fact that I really love the action point system that they have in this. I think might be my favorite action point system implementation.
Yeah.
Now that said, I've got to play DC-20 again when it comes out.
Yeah, that's my hesitancy.
Because I do really like
gotten to play
DC-20's
since the
action
first.
points.
Yeah. I agree.
more
I
so than
really like
Pathfinder.
DC-20s, but I haven't got to replay it since our initial go with it.
Hmm.
So I don't know how they compare yet. I will say, as I said in the video, I love the initiative system, which does play into action
Yes.
points within the Stormlight Archives or whatever Cosmere RPG.
So yeah, but the Cosmere RPG is kicking on all cylinders, firing on all cylinders. I don't know. I mixing my metaphors here.
That's fine.
Um,
It's doing all the stuff on all
it
the
is
cylinders.
over 6.5 million with 22,000 backers, and there's still 19 days left.
Wow,
I think it'll hit 10
dude, it's
by the
cruising.
end, because
Yeah.
it's a little slow right now, but there's always a ramp up for the last like 24 to 48 hours.
Fair.
And honestly, at the rate they've been going, I could see them hitting 10 easy. But yeah, so the Cosmere RPG, it's gonna have Roshar and Scadrial, and then but for this particular Kickstarter, even though the system is gonna cover all of it, the Cosmere, it's actually a double Kickstarter. So like if you're buying into the normal campaign rewards, you're getting all 3 books for Stormlight, and you're getting all 3 books for Mistborn, and you're getting a GM screen for both, so 2. And you're getting maps, and you're getting tokens and dice, and like card tokens, not the ones you can get, plastic tokens.
Right.
And an adventure, and then I don't know if you saw the stretch goals, but they have Welcome to Roshar, a 24-page visual guide to Roshar that's been added since then. They have the Lifelight plot die, which basically means they're going to add a second plot die, and it's green instead of blue.
Nice.
For rolling with advantage on the plot, I guess. I mean, like I'm all for having another plot die. And then the books, they are making all of them gilded, meaning it's going to have gold foil on the edges of the pages. There's going to be a sacred string bookmark for it, ribbon, and that's on all of them. Yeah, awesome. So, and the Bridge 9 adventure will be published, and be a 32-page booklet with it as well. Those have all been unlocked.
Which we are planning out. We're planning out actually to play the Bridge Knight adventure.
Yes, I am reading through it right now. I have plans to GM. Maybe if definitely 1 session, maybe 2. Depends on the group. And because I think it says that like ideally it's 2 sessions of like 3 hours. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll
that makes
see.
sense.
But I've actually got some, obviously besides us, we have some LTN peeps that want to play, and then again, we have some Pocket Dimension friends that might be interested. So we'll see. We would love to have them, and I think it would be amazing. They were a couple people were asking like, is there going to be spoilers? I don't think there is. Like, I have taken more time to read through it since my earlier conversation. I don't think there's going to be spoilers. Maybe there will be some spoilers in like this ability or this surge, which is the magic abilities. This surge that you haven't seen in the books yet is in the game. And then maybe there might be a tiny bit of spoilers with the Parshman and Parshendi. Not big story ones, but just like you might hear a few things or see a few forms or words that about them, and I think that would be it. I think the adventure itself doesn't have any spoilers for the books, so it's gonna be. Oh man, I'm so excited, and
I'm really excited for that.
And their adventure has been very well put together. So, again, we could talk forever on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, you can get the beta rules for free though. They are free on DriveThruRPG. They are free on Demiplane, where you can also create a character, and you can also play them for free in Roll20. And then if you have Fantasy Grounds, you can play it for free there as well. So those are the initial digital partners that they're going with. I think they did announce they're going to try to get it into some of the others, like Foundry and Alchemy, but I think it'll be post-launch. Or at least post the Kickstarter. I don't know. We'll see. So, also post GenCon, I talked about Free League Publishing earlier. Love them as a publisher, and they just put out a Humble Bundle for almost every single thing they have
Right.
for Alchemy RPG. But it's not just for Alchemy RPG. It's Alchemy RPG and the PDFs, which is awesome. Because a lot of times
It's an absolute ton.
if you buy something on a VTT, you don't normally get the PDFs. But Alchemy does a lot of times allow you to download the PDF for it as well, which is fantastic. So that's out. It's amazing. It's like 50 items. And then also, you got to go connect with your local game shop, you said.
Yeah, which was really cool. I live in a fairly small town. And so up until just a few years ago, we had no game shops. And now we actually have 3 in the area. 2 are locally owned, and 1 is, Game Exchange, which is really cool. And so we had a new one open up that I found right after Gen Con. It's called the Shopkeeper's Trove. And yeah, I got to go in there, check out everything they have. Friday Night Magic, they have Thursday Night Lorcana, they have
awesome.
D&D tables, and all kinds of stuff. Really, really cool place.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I got to go connect, spend some money, support them, which I'm really excited. I'm excited to kind of build that relationship, see what else they have there. I will say one of the Lorcana decks that I got from while I was at Gen Con, I got it back. It's actually my deck, the one I bought for me. Is all, like, not all, but there's a lot of miscuts in it. So I'm still kind of exploring, see if those are going to be worth anything or not. I know in Magic, miscuts and misprints are worth, they're worth quite a bit. And so, like, I'm holding on to this. I'm like, maybe.
That's funny.
My local shop had not seen any yet, so that's somewhat hopeful, but isn't.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, nothing like Gen Con to fire the fuel of excitement for RPGs and board games and, getting involved in the gaming community. I also have a BattleTech podcast, and I've got plans lined up for that. I've got content already in the works for that as well, and we've been pumping out the content here. We've got so many things to post, and shorts and stuff like that are coming down. So definitely give us a like and subscribe on YouTube or on your podcast platform of choice. A couple big shout outs. Again, this is our Gen Con recap episode. Shout outs to Love Thy Nerd, Bubba, Matt, Luke. You guys are awesome. We love you. Cannot ever thank you enough for the opportunity. Tierney, thank you for all that you do for the teaching RPG stuff within Love Thy Nerd. Looking forward to playing with you soon. Dungeon Coach, I think you should thank Dungeon Coach.
Yeah, I mean, it was great to meet you, and thank you for putting out DC20 and all the awesome content. I mean, a lot of what I use in my games, my homebrew games, comes from your videos.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, Pocket Dimension, you guys are awesome. Super excited to see when you finally get to look at Cosmere, whether it's with us or on your own, whatever. Excited to see what y'all put out for that. Brotherwise Games, massive shout out for Ross, Johnny, and Ruvade for getting us in, for taking the time to talk to us and so many other people, and just the excitement that you all had for this game. And the fact that none of you let slip that it was Cosmere RPG. Props to y'all. Seriously.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. And then David and Jacqueline, who are our RPG party members for the Stormlight game. Thank you. You guys are awesome party members as well. And shout out to our BattleTech friends that we met at the Alpha Strike table. Hold on. Jason and I'm gonna tell you.
Okay. I was like, I'm not the note taker, so I have
I know.
idea.
Jason and Zach.
Okay, there we go.
So
Nice. Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. Amazing to meet everyone. It was a great opportunity, a great trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Well, real quick, just give us the short answer
Mm-hmm.
for what the system by which we're going to start reviewing TTRPGs in the future.
Yeah.
When we
So
say we're going to take a critical look, what does that mean?
absolutely. And so we're taking a critical look. We want to make sure that we're looking at these systems, and we're looking at all aspects that kind of matter to a TTRPG. And we also want something that we can use as a general consensus as we look at different games. And so when we take a critical look at a game, what we're looking at, the C, it's an acrostic. The C is character creation. How easy is it? How intuitive is it? How customizable is it? Right. The R is role play opportunities. Is there plenty of that in the game? I is the integration of lore. Is it true to the lore, right? T is the tabletop experience, right? I is in-game mechanics. C will be your combat system. A, the artwork design. How's it look? How's it feel? Does it fit the genre, the lore that's there? And L, the learning curve. How easy is it to learn? How easy is it to teach? Whether that's DMing or playing. And so we're going to look at these different systems and give them a critical look. And that'll be our, kind of what we follow as we look at these. We'll look at each section as we look at different TTRPGs.
Awesome, and awesome job coming up with that, Jeff, because it fits so well. So,
It does, yeah.
Lastly, I think we're just gonna kind of end the episode right there without going into anything played, because I did get a chance to play, but we don't have time.
No, absolutely.
GenCon covered so much, and again, it was so awesome. As we've said, and as we know, we are part of the Love Thy Nerd podcast network.
Mm-hmm.
And for this season, they actually, instead of just being on the Love Thy Nerd YouTube channel proper, we are actually going to be, we have our own brand YouTube channel now.
Yeah.
That's tied underneath the LTN channel. So it's, I think it's at the RPG Rundown LTN.
Yep.
So check it out. Give us a like and subscribe there, because we gotta rebuild. We gotta rebuild that. And that way too.
Yeah.
And that way too. It does have all of our backlog of episodes on it. We're going to probably get our actual plays put over to it as well, and we'll start putting out shorts and other content on there. So, definitely check us out there. Also, just check out Love Thy Nerd, because they're awesome. They have everything from board games and movie reviews to wrestling, and cover everything nerdy under the sun, which is awesome. So, also they have a radio channel that you can listen to. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah,
just plays music and podcasts and stuff all day. It's great.
Check us out on all the socials at either at RPG Rundown or at the RPG Rundown.
Yep.
On pretty much every social platform. So check us out. We'd love to connect with you. And there should be links in the show notes, so check those out too. But yeah, I think with that, we're gonna end this Gen Con recap. We're gonna thank you all for being here, and from our table to yours, thanks for joining the RPG Rundown.
Until next time, may your rolls be epic and your stories legendary.